I'm back with Sabra Mack, and we're talking about our boy Michael again. Go ahead and tell us your update.
Yes, well, have some pretty good news as far as learning and getting information. His mother, Sylvia Duran, and his daughter, no, not his daughter, his cousin, Lori, were involved in a meeting online with me with the county attorney's office. There were a total of 3 on their end that were there to answer questions, and questions we did have. Um, and it got emotional. It got a bit heated from time to time, particularly when the county attorney, Scott Tweedo, he asked me how I got my hands on the full video.
And just to back up for 1 second, because we just kind of went right into it, you want to just do a quick recap on who Michael is,
Yes.
how you knew him, and it's a follow-up on a story that we did before, but if somebody hasn't seen it, then you could just catch them up briefly.
Absolutely. I'm sorry about that.
No,
it's
okay.
An ongoing story, obviously. But on August 20th, 2022, my friend Michael Duran, who was 29 at the time, was gunned down on 4th Avenue in Billings, an apparent road rage incident. It was all caught on video by the Q2 CCTV camera, and no arrests have been made. No charges have been brought up. And I have become an advocate for the family because they're all out in LA. And so we've been working diligently to get answers as to why, when they have all this information, there hasn't been an arrest or even names given. There was a female and a male occupant in the car that was involved. And I did get my hands on the full video. You people may have seen clips on the news, Q2 News, of the incident happening. And any further information you've gotten has been because we have been, which is Justice for Michael, and I have a Justice for Michael page on Facebook. So it's hashtag Justice for Michael and Justice for Michael on Facebook. Look at that, please. Anyway, we've been working hard to get answers and to have them stay on top of it. And what I was just speaking about was a meeting that we were able to get together with the county attorney's office, with his mother, his sister, and myself. And then the 3 attorneys were there also. Scott Tweedo is the lead. I think he's the head. I know he is. He's the head county attorney. And we had questions, lots of them, as to why. It just seems like it's been dormant, like nothing has happened. And the reason for that is because if I were a county attorney, and I've said this before, I would be notifying the family, even if I didn't have anything new to say, just to let them know that we're still working on it, you know? And we weren't getting that. Every piece of information that we have ever obtained was because we worked hard for it and we went after it. So Q2 was wonderful enough to give me a full, non-edited version of the incident that day, and it's gut-wrenching to watch. But I had to do it because I didn't want to do it. I needed to do it to get some answers, and I only had more questions. I keep saying, but breaking it down frame by frame. You see the transition in the incident as far as the anger elevation, how it started with one person actually starting the violence and not the person people think started the violence. I have to be careful about what I say, but I used the FOIA form. I didn't have to use it, but as a postmaster, I said, I can get my hands on an FOIA form, and I want the full version, and they wanted to know how I got my hands on that. And I said, well, I told him what I just said. And he said, well, you could jeopardize the case. And I said, how can I jeopardize the case? The only way I could do that is if I'm sharing it with people, if I'm putting it out there, which obviously I'm not doing. And anyway, questions were asked, and of questions were answered, and I'm feeling much better about the case. Now we're a long way from it being over. Things do take time, and I understand that. They're looking at a coroner's inquest because the county attorney's office is unable to make a decisive decision on their own. So, do you know what a county or a coroner's inquest is and how it works exactly?
No, I mean, isn't that what it tells the cause of death?
It, as a rule, that's what it does. On that day, I learned something that what it does is it's a lot like, I should say, a grand jury. They bring in people who know nothing about the case, and they present all of the information in like a wave. They get all the information, and there's a judge present, and they show it to them as though they were doing a trial, okay? And then they get from that group of people, do you think we have a case?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I think, in my heart, I believe it's wonderful. So they will look at that, and they figure it'll take about a day and a half for it to be done. Oh, don't you wish all trials were like that? And we are hopeful we're going to have T-shirts and baseball shirts made up for Justice for Michael and his beautiful face on the front. And we've got people that will be there because it is open to the public, coroner's inquest. They're thinking maybe late this summer, which we can do that. Just let them get their job done. And I know that Michael continues to be around us and continues to help navigate where this case needs to go, along with God, of course. But he's, I believe that justice will be done.
Oh, that's great news. So that coroner's inquest happened because of the diligent pushing towards it?
Well, not exactly. I mean, I didn't think so. We have been pushing. The police department and the county attorney's office won't soon forget my name, I'm sure. And then a host of people from our page have been wonderful about calling, saying, hey, what's going on? Not being ugly, just saying, hey, what's going on? Haven't heard anything. Haven't seen anything in the news. So that's why this kind of thing is very important, to keep it fresh in the minds of people that his life mattered, and he's got people that love him very much. And I've said it over and over again, we can't begin the grieving process until justice is served, until we know justice is going to be served. So, no, I think the coroner's inquest came because the county attorney's office explained it to us like this. If they're not 90% sure that they can win that case, they, by law, can't even bring up charges. Can you believe that?
I see. Wow.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So, an interesting side note, and do with this what you want, but I came face to face with the man that shot Michael. And it wasn't like I thought it was going to be. First of all, I was blindsided, didn't know, and there's no doubt in my mind, he knew who I was. I knew who he was. And my boyfriend happened to be with me. We were in a restaurant, and he instantly he was picking up food, I believe. He went to the wall and faced the wall the whole time. And I had contacted Michael's mother and told her that this had happened. And she sent a text back saying, oh my God, how did he act? Which was it wasn't a question I thought she would ask. But instantly what came to my mind were 3 words. He was shocked, he was scared, and he was guilty. I could tell that this man was packing that. It is not anything that is even close to dealing with what happened. I know the man. In fact, what I did was I said a prayer, which I do a lot. And then I thought, you know what? When I see him again, because I will, first of all, I won't be blindsided and I'll be prepared. And I would say to him that I forgave him. I forgive you. God forgives you. The only thing left to be done is for you to forgive yourself and do the right thing.
Right. Yeah.
Take accountability for taking this man's life.
Because that's the only thing that'll probably help his life go
Absolutely.
forward as well.
And anybody that loves him. Because it wasn't just Michael's family that was affected. I get that.
Yeah.
His family and loved ones have been affected too. But this claim of self-defense is just, it's unbelievable to me. Because if you see the video, it's like Michael's hands are up. A lot of the time he's like, whoa, 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 you know, let's stop this foolishness. Then he did go into action to protect himself. And it's human nature to go defensive at some point. But I was kind of, I was grateful for that moment with the gentleman. Now, I realized how much larger he was at that point than Michael. And it was nice knowing, I mean, I believe, I obviously don't know, but I believe he knew who I was. Just the eye contact, the interaction. And I froze. I mean, I couldn't breathe. I got flush and I was hyperventilating. And so I spoke to my boyfriend and he's like, "Are you okay?" So it was obvious that it wasn't just, I think that's him. It was absolutely him. Just his reaction to me. If his reaction to me had been different, I might have questioned it, but it you know.
Yeah.
Because we know his name.
That's so interesting.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that would be an incredible moment to have with somebody in that situation. Like, you never know how you would react. Probably just the way you did.
Well, it was a God moment. It was. And I needed it, quite frankly, because I was harboring a lot of anger and instead of just giving it up, and not giving up the case, but giving up all that pent up resentment and anger and fear. There's like a fear that nothing will happen. When, even if nothing happens in the physical sense here, I know it will happen someday later, you know?
Yeah, it's hard for people who know victims or are a victim and to see themselves or their loved one never have justice for that.
Right.
Like it's an imbalance in the world that has to be righted, it seems.
Yeah, we did get conflicting reports also. His mother was told that certain items of his would be sent to her. And she okayed me to go pick them up at the police station. So I called ahead so they could have things ready. And then I was told, well, you absolutely can't take them. We need to keep them here as evidence and this type of thing. And I thought, well, maybe she just misunderstood, you know, and clearly she had not misunderstood. Because when we talked to the lead county attorney, he said, no, I told her that those things would be sent. He goes, I said, well, you need to talk to somebody in evidence because I called to pick it up. And he goes, do you know who you talked to? And I said, yeah, I'm pretty sure I do. And he said that he would take care of that too. But see, there's discrepancies all along. One person will say one thing is happening, and then the next person says, well, no, that's not the way it's going. So it was wonderful and everything to hear them say, yes, we are still working on it diligently. And we want justice to happen also. But they didn't make it sound like they were against the other people, and they're not calling them perps or people of interest even. They're the other people. They're the other parties involved, which bothers me.
I think that they do have to treat them that way, though, and that's expected. Yeah, it's probably hard to take that, though, when you know, when you've seen what happened.
Yeah, yeah, it's very hard. So, but I do invite anyone who is interested in the case to get on Facebook and look up Justice for Michael. And then, of course, hashtag Justice for Michael. You'll get the same information. You can go back clear to, I think it was 2 weeks after he passed that I put up the page. Would love to have you. And any questions you might have or enlightenment you can give us would be great. So, thanks. Love you, Michael.
Oh, thanks, Sabra. We'll keep him in our heart and on our mind.
Thank you.